Hi there, my name is Jay-Z and welcome to Josa. Today I want to introduce you to a song that was stolen from a cleaner. Yes, a cleaner, Solomon Linda. Solomon Linda was a South African musician who was born in 1909. And in the 1930s, he worked for Gallo Music as a cleaner. And during the evening, he would practice with a group called the Evening Birds. And then he composed a song called Mbube, or sometimes the song is also called Wimoweh, meaning the lion. And so they sang the song in 1939. But in the 1950s, the Weavers performed the song and it became famous. It went on to be sung again by the Tokens in the 1960s. In fact, the Tokens recorded it in 1960 and it was released in 1961. It was a very, very famous song, far more famous than what it was when it was done by Solomon Linda. Obviously, the Weavers and the Tokens were US-based groups that were very, very popular already. So taking a song like this one, they made it grow big. It was one of the top 10 songs in the 1960s. And then that's how the song was stolen. And today I want to give you just that brief and try and see some similarities in the original song that was done by Solomon Linda and the Evening Birds, and the song that is famously known as Wimoweh, The Lion Sleeps. Now here's a question. Why was the song changed from Mbube to Wimoweh? Mbube means lion in Zulu. Zulu is one of the South African languages. So when you say Mbube in Zulu, you actually mean lion. But the song was changed to Wimoweh, which has no meaning. So in Zulu they say Mbube, Mbube in the same song, but then the other version says Wimoweh, Wimoweh. So why the change? Keep watching and I will give you an answer that I think is the reason why this song changed from Mbube to Wimoweh. But for now, let me introduce you to the original composer of the song. The original version of the song was done and composed by a South African musician called Solomon Linda. Solomon Linda was born in 1909 in South Africa, and he composed this song and later sang it with the Solomon Linda and the Evening Birds. It was recorded by Gallo Music in 1939. It was a big song when it was sung by the Evening Birds and Solomon Linda. And the song was so big that it sold 100,000 copies. That was huge in those days. Now here's the song by the Tokens. It's the same song that was done originally by Solomon Linda. In Solomon Linda's version, it's called Wimoweh or Mbube, which means lion. But the Tokens changed it to Wimoweh. Their writer used the word Wimoweh. And this is just a tricky way of stealing something. You know, these guys claimed that they called it Wimoweh because they couldn't pronounce Wimoweh. Wimoweh is not hard to pronounce. Even for somebody who does not speak Zulu. Just say O, Yi, O, Be, Wimoweh. You are the lion. You are the king. That's what the song means. And then they changed it to Wimoweh, which is meaningless. But there's a reason why they changed it to Wimoweh, and I'll explain it later why I think it was a deliberate move. It's not that they couldn't pronounce Wimoweh, but it was a deliberate strategy to use the word Wimoweh because they understood copyright laws far better than Solomon Linda, who was an illiterate person who couldn't actually read the difference between A and W. or something like that. The only difference is that one of the songs is written in English, and one of the songs uses the word Wimoweh, and the other one uses the word Mbube, but it's the same song. Now here's the reason why I'm saying this song was actually stolen from Solomon Linda. Firstly, the US group that initially sang the song after Solomon Linda had sang it was called the Weavers. Now here's some irony here. Solomon Linda's group was called the Evening Birds, and then the American group that took the song was called the Weavers. So Evening Birds the Weavers stole from the Evening Birds. Same thing, they're both birds. So that's another sign that these guys were making a fool of this guy. And so they stole his song, and they changed the word from Mbube to Wimoweh. Now, here is the reason why I think they changed the song to Wimoweh. The reason I think they changed the song to Wimoweh from Mbube is for legal purposes. Think of it this way: if they had used the word Mbube and then Mbube and then go to the US and use the same one, the Americans would have loved the song because it's a great dancing song, especially for those days. It was a great song to listen to, and it's still a great song. But going to the US and performing the song as Mbube, someone would have shouted and said, "No, you copied my song." And that's exactly what happened. A lawyer challenged the song that was performed by the Weavers, and he said, "That's our song." And it was composed by Linda Solomon. And then there's some story that if you do your research, you'll find that there's a story that eventually Solomon was given $1,000, which was nothing. Now, there's a story that Solomon Linda sold the rights to the song for $2. Now, imagine in the 60s or in the 1960s or 1950s, $2 was very little. And even if they had paid him $2, it was still theft, because they claimed that he signed that, he had sold the rights to the song, but he was illiterate. There's no way he could have read those contracts. So somebody duped him into believing something else, and then he signed something, and then he was given $2 for it. It's like thieves. They come and they take your car and then give you a bit of money for you to get home, and then they go and paint the car, and then you see them driving it around, and then later on they say, "No, we gave you money for the car. We didn't steal it." That's what happened here. They stole this song. The question is, where's the lion's share? It went to the Weavers. It went to all these big record companies, rather, and then that's how the song was stolen. So these guys really prepared themselves. They knew that if we use the word Wimoweh, in court we could argue that the title is different. Another claim they made was that this was a traditional folk song. It was a traditional Zulu song that Solomon Linda didn't compose it, but it existed in public domain. But this was not true. There was no previous records of this song other than that it was sung by Solomon Linda. And these guys literally stole this song and continued to perform it for years. Well, in all this mess, there's some good news and bad news. Thanks to South African journalist Ryan Mullen. In 2000, Ryan Mullen wrote an article in the Rolling Stone magazine where he mentioned that Disney may have grossed at least $15 million from the song in the movie Lion King. This became a basis of a lawsuit between Disney and the Solomon Linda's estate. And thanks to the article, in 2004, Disney settled an undisclosed amount to the Solomon Linda estate. At least the family got something. They benefited by some amount, though it was never disclosed to the public. And then the sad news part is that the word Mbube, rather the song Mbube, is now public domain according to South African copyright laws. But the same song, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, is copyright protected. So Mbube is no longer copyright protected, and Wimoweh is copyright protected. So if you ask me, he lost it. The song was stolen forever. Thank you so much for watching the channel, and please don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like the video. Thank you.